What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. There are so many amazing reprints out of this year's Megatons, out of Ghosts from the Past 2022, and the market's taking a pounding for the better. It's an amazing show, but before we get into all of the market theory that'll come with that between, you're not going to want to hear the word, short prints. The Megatons so far the last few years haven't had short prints, just expanding sets that make it harder to pull things, but Ghosts from the Past sure did. We have Mathmech Edition, can you count, going way up in price to the point that I want to puke, seeing Light Play sell at $45. I think this is like a record sale for a super rare out of a side set. Yes, we had Luster Pendulum out of core sets hitting like 50 plus, and also looking through history, you have like Invocation hitting like 35, 38, but this is into another realm. This is freaking crazy to me, and why people are rightfully so really going out and grabbing it, except for at that price. You have a new piece of Mathmech support that just goes ham. This card reads that you can send a Mathmech monster from your deck to the graveyard except for himself, special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can only attack with one monster for the rest of this turn. That doesn't matter too much to Mathmech or Cyverse deck, especially setting up a board. And the Foolish Burial is huge because then it reads, if another Mathmech monster or monsters is normal or special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you add a Mathmech spell/trap from your deck to your hand. And over here, Mathmech Equation is a reborn, and your boy already put a Mathmech in the grave for revival that you would want to see to begin your synchros. Also, Mathmechs had this era on the Link Book where like they shouldn't have been meta at all, but they were really taking over the top rated, and it was interesting. I think MCole40 covered that for a bit, but just looking through the history of Mathmechs, how it's become an engine here or there, it just stabilizes much greater and even crazier as an engine. And a lot of the streamers, the tubers, they were freaking out, rightfully so. Like I said, players went after it with their hard-earned money, and here we are with kind of the perfect storm for this to end up being right now, before it's cooled down, if it does cool down, to be one of the craziest super rares out of a side set ever. Yeah, look at this. The cheapest from top rated sellers, 50, 6969, trying to get that Market Watch shout out, but not so nice. It's kind of wild out there. Now, if you live under a rock, you missed yesterday's reprints for Ghosts from the Past, but it's only a day. Don't feel so bad. A Luber, Halka, Fibrax, Dragulabon, Ryza. We're going to go over a lot of these singles and what I think, but first off, pre-sales are up over on Gamer's Choice and even cheaper on Tier 0, but this is EU print, so pick which one you do want in a print. EU print, they can definitely vary. Not a financial advisor channel. I don't know your bankroll, how long you like to hold on to stuff, and we're about to get into a lot of market theory, so I want to point out the prices on what things end up being. On Tier 0, the actual price ends up being this per little tuck box that would MSRP $20. This is your dollar per card reprint set that happens in the spring, yet at the discounted code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly, you get it down to $13.31, 32 cents depending, and I think that this set will be highly speculated on. A lot of people probably plan to hold on to this sealed, but it's going to get ripped open en masse, not only for these reprints, but the top-end chases. Dark Magician Girl, Blue Eyes White Dragon, they're very coveted and wanted, and if quality control holds up, people will be after those in droves after the show last year, and then you'll have the people diamond hands and going sealed saying, man, it ended up going up on this announcement, and they'll probably continue the legacy of this pack. And this one seems to be also Cyber Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend. It's all really great so far, and Dark Arm Dragon. Then you have the leaks, but those are speculatory. We haven't seen anything else physically from the set. So let's go ahead into some of those confirmations and talk about singles. Last year's Ghost had short prints to where it was like 4.5-ish, if I recall, per case of stuff like the Dragoonity. You have evenly matched cards like that where you're not seeing a ton of them per case, and you didn't have a great chance. Now we know that Konami is saying the set list has expanded, meaning the ratios will be even harder to get, and if they continue to short print cards in the set, it will be pretty darn hard to get a Luber, and this is max rarity. Overnight, this has fallen half in price versus what people were paying yesterday to $70 $90 sale slash 80 when it was $145 freaking dollars, and tons of people are lining up at that $80 mark. You even see some top rated sellers in here just trying to make that sale. I do think that also with the demand from the Alba Strike Structure Deck in this perfectly timed reprint, that a lot of people will be after the single out of Ghost, and this highest rarity version might be able to dig its heels in the sand around 45.50, which is why people are still trying to bail. But depending on that demand and how badly it's shorted, I still don't see this really being over that mark, but I could be shocked and surprised because these sets get ripped open the second most out of the year after the Megatons. People really go ham on the spring reprint set. We used to call this the March reprint set. Delays have this all the way until May. So make that kind of distinction. It's still our dollar per card set. So I want you to remember that. A lot of people, even when things are short printed, are going to be chasing the Ghost, selling everything else, trying to open this for EVP, trying to grade those Ghost rares, and it's going to have a lot of circulation on the market, even if there are short prints. How many times do we look at the cards and go like, oh, that was reasonable pre-sales? Wow, it crashed out like I didn't think it could for this single or that single. Now, markets have been adapting. You do see week 1, week 2 buyouts on cards now, and things do get crazier, so pay attention to that pre-sale window. And also pay attention to, day 1, week 1 prices as they happen, and the word pre-sale goes away from TCG Player, but also, Tier 0, Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily, the other pre-sellers who actually do really good on the market, try to really keep up with the pricing once things do list, and we will keep you up to date with ratios on the channel. Because of people going, oh, this isn't the card to be expensive, you do see Guardian Chimera start to get bought out even more. It is passing the $40 mark and starting to trend upward even further. It's a secret rare out of Battle of Chaos, and Battle of Chaos, very thirsty for value, but is still our current core set. Not for too much longer, though. I also wanted to point out Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, because this goes with the Alba Strike Structure Deck like Chimera does. This card got announced for a reprint, and almost immediately it flopped like $30-ish. You see people selling this for $110 now. My thoughts kind of are back to access code talker / link Rebo, except we don't have a world tournament this year. We don't have a Road to Worlds then also in our tournament season, even though Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Is back, until Konami announces the replacement tournaments, which they did say there will be like kind of these tournaments here or there meant to replace Worlds all around. So we probably will have a huge prizing tournament structure set up like locally for each region or for certain regions. I look forward to that announcement, but I think that could be the powder keg that ends up spiking this later on. So if you recall, access code talker, reprint like Hopium for the Megatons, then it happens, spikes. Here we know there is the reprint clock similar to Link Rebo in the past, but when Nats hit, it continued to rise up through Nats and then fell off after, despite a guaranteed reprint. And I feel like this card, a lot of people are going to be on it with the Alba Strike stuff, and it will probably start to see itself rebound in price here rather than continuously go down, unfortunately. So I would think about, if you're playing this and you're playing in regionals, you plan for the Alba Strike Structure Deck, to kind of figure your version. The Starlight is likely to go down much less in price when the reprint gets here for accessibility, and I pointed those out when they were $350. They're now near $500, but I don't think this is continuously downward. I do think there is probably a better time to play that, but you're playing a game of chicken versus like tournament announcements. Everybody has theirs for their tournaments and then it falling off. So do keep that in mind, specifically with Dragoon, that you're kind of playing a dangerous game, holding on to it, but I kind of do see that it's probably not all down from here for the price, unfortunately. Halka Fibrax, however, is bottoming out. Its reprint will also be ultra, just like it is, and you see it just dropping like a rock in price, as everybody was on kind of the, well, not everybody, but a lot of players on the Synchro Brave Token combo deck, and everyone's going Hulk Engine. People are kind of celebrating. Maybe this means Auroradon's getting banned. Maybe this means a hit to the engine. I think far later. And speaking of banlist speculation, I'm hearing more of it than ever right now. Everybody's bringing up Colossus and Maxi like daily again, except Konami's just staring like, I think we said this season we'll do the ban list when we feel like it. So it'll be interesting to watch the ban list market there too, kind of, and speculation thereof on how the community tries to react and move forward in an unprecedented We'll do it when we feel like it from Konami. Number 97, Dragula Blonde's kind of actually shocking me in terms of its price fallout. Yes, it's only expensive because it has one printing and it's kind of gimmicky, but I would think that the secret rare would try to hold some value versus an ultra coming out, especially being a Battles of Legends secret rare, not the most accessible thing in the world. So I might think to watch if you want the higher rarity version of this as it continues to bottom out here for... is this the stopping point? Is this the rebound point? Will it go up versus that? I could see it falling to $8 though, but the market kind of dictates itself when it comes to max rarity, even in the rogue section. Rise is falling out the least, but still falling out. It's down towards $35, $36 now. People are still wanting to play in regionals though, and YCSs as mentioned, so they're stuck, you know, tied to their cards, despite that reprint clock being on May, likely to bottom this out towards like, what, $12 maybe for the secret? I could try to hold in at 20, but I could see the reprint being 5 and under realistically, depending on short or not. Go DDD Divine Zero King Rage is just a card I wanted to bring up as, hey, everybody's finally going to have access to this, and that's super freaking nice. I was looking through DDD in general, and prices are really still up for the hollowed out stuff. People are on this deck so freaking hard, and I respect it. It's a combo deck that just takes so much big brain juice. It's not for me, but the people who lab this, y'all, you're next level. Shooting Riser Dragon, speaking of Hulk and being able to combo and do stuff, people are buying out the Ultras once again, it pretty much looks like. Like, you have the lower sellers under market price, and you do see downward. I didn't see the spike again, though, so I kind of missed the 20. I'm reaching back in time, I guess, on this buyout. But Shooting Riser Dragon's an interesting one to me, because it gets these buyout cycles, and it's remained above that $7 to $8 mark. It got bought out at one point, but it also has that Dark Neostorm Super reprint. I do wonder, like, Fairy Tale Snow is here. That's another thing that this card combos with. Let me know if you've been doing combos with this card and how you feel about the ultra rare in general being out of the magazine promos. Pulling the Rug's just something I saw Jackie post on Twitter. She was trying to get one and she's like, why the hell is this card $10? I'm guessing something to do with Time Wizard format. The ultimate rare is, like, I say only like 4x that price for the first editions. I got some of these in my ultimate rare buy that I did almost 2 years ago now, isn't it? But when I did it, they were like, what, $4? Super underappreciated. So it's funny to see the rare itself over the price of what I bought these for back in the day. I love Strike of Neos. And then also Neos Elias Ultimate Rares getting super targeted. I remember bringing this to you guys at $19 for the first editions years ago if you were watching then. And this card is so freaking crazy now, probably due to Edison format, towards $100. And evenly matched around this out, Texas accent slipping there. But seriously, this card missed a reprint happening in a structure deck, and ever since has been super low on quantities, and now we're even seeing those Ghosts from the Past quantities start to really lower. It's headed back towards $30. I wonder if Konami's just going to be like, that reprint was so good, let's do it again and slip it on in this year's Ghost too. Who knows what their plans are with this card, but when speculation happens, let it be a lesson. Not everything's guaranteed to come over from the OCG and a structure deck, and I think a large portion of the community now knows even a structure deck is not guaranteed to come over as a structure deck anymore at this point. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being here. I love getting to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! For my living. What do you guys think about all these reprints and the speculation thereon? Do you think like Super or Secret Luber, not Super, would be able to dig its heels in the sand at 50, at 70? Where do you think it's actually going to land on its feet after the reprint, even if it's announced short print? And also, what do you see from this year's Ghost? How do you feel like is actually going to go down long term? I do think keeping the sealed to be sealed long term for the set is probably a good game plan, but be aware, way more people are making that speculation too. Thanks for watching, everybody.